A very good afternoon and welcome back to the program. The touchline is the show on Y254. My name is Maxwell Wasika and Robert Osoro, of course, still taking you through. You can be part of the show via joining our social media handles at Wasika Maxwell, at Osoro, but at touchline Y254, and keep your contributions coming. The set is completely full. Of course, three panelists joining us on set to dissect about Kenyan football and international football as well. Of course, several fixtures lined up as far as top tier is concerned, and World Cup qualifiers also lined up in several parts of the world. Ronnie Aloy, our residential panelist, on the set at the middle alongside Gigio Omondi from Radio Africa, both sports journalists with bias for football. Then a man who just bagged some good amount of money, James Mureithi, bagging jackpot of 7 million shillings via BTA. Congratulations, young man. How do you feel, Ba?
I feel good.
You feel nice?
Yeah.
You rich now?
I'm rich.
What do you intend to do with the money?
To invest.
To invest?
Yeah.
Okay, Gigio and Ronnie, good to have you on board.
This guy has forgotten. He started crying. He doesn't have money before.
Yeah, you know, I'm currently suffering from economic crunch, and probably I will be talking to him later on after the show to give me guidance and good pieces of advice on how to go about it and win such whooping cash as well. Of course, several fixtures lined up this particular afternoon. Which one are you seeking to watch, George?
Talking of KPL?
Yes.
Yeah, we have Sony Ulinzi, we have Stima Bandari and Zoo Homeboys. So Zoo have just been reinstated and they are facing a tough side in Homeboys who are on form, and Homeboys are the surprise package because they've taken the league by storm kinda. They have not lost like in the last 8 matches, right? 8, 9. Yeah, so they're in a good run, and Zoo are in for a tough time because the tribulations they had previously has made them maybe kinda slow down. But all in all, football is a 90-minute match, and at the end of that, we know the best team will win, and chances are that Homeboys are gonna win. And Ulinzi Sony is a hard one. Sony is a hard nut to crack at a window. We all know that, and mostly it rains on both sides. God knows better why. And I foresee a draw maybe. Then Stima Bandari is not in good form. Stima the same. They are going down. So these are guys who are fighting for their lives, and chances are that a draw.
And of course, talking about Zoo and Nakumatt, of course, both teams have been reinstated to continue taking part in the top tier fixtures. And during the verdict on midweek at the Court of Appeal, we happened to spoke to stakeholders of both teams, and they remain buoyant and optimistic of remaining in top tier and avoiding relegation. Let's take a look and see what they have to say.
The judgment, it is not clear where Nakumatt FC and Zoo FC will be absorbed. Even if we were to say they are to be relegated to the National Super League, it is impossible for them to honor their fixtures in the remaining 1 month. 25 fixtures in the remaining 1 month before all seasons and all the 3 leagues are closed. There is also another 24 million shillings which has been budgeted by FIFA for to fund the 2 teams in the league. And if the 2 teams are removed from the league, then the 24 million shillings, FIFA will decline to give the 24 million shillings to the KPL and the FKF.
And we're very happy because now they go back and do their business. We come back on 3rd of November for full determination of the case. But we are happy with the ruling today. We couldn't ask for more. We're thankful to the 3-man bench in determining what we thought is the right decision to do, to allow football must continue to be played. And we said we open the gates for more people to take part in the game.
We will achieve our main goal for us to finish top 10 at least.
We are going back to focus on our 9 remaining matches.
Ken Ochieng, chairperson of Zoo Kericho, a team that got reinstated to continue taking part in the top tiers alongside FKF President Nick Mwendwa, of course alongside Donald Musomi. Nakumatt FC chairperson speaking after the verdict on Tuesday at the Court of Appeal after the reinstatement of the duo in the top tier. Ronnie Aloy, what do you make of the reinstatement of the 2, and even as they say that they will be seeking to avoid relegation?
Indeed, I think it's a great relief for football because as the Court of Appeal led by Justice Philip Waki ruled that if these teams are suspended, if they remain suspended from the league, then it hurts the game. But if these two teams, Nakumatt and Zoo, are brought back to the league, then the petitioner really doesn't suffer any harm. I think we're in the latter stages of the league, and I think setting the two teams means well for football, and I think it was a proper ruling.
For me, I think, what do you be thinking? These two teams coming now, every team that is past number 12 to number 18 knows that anything can happen.
Sure.
And you can be relegated. This Zoo and Nakumatt now, this gives them motivation to fight. In that for them, they have tested the waters. They know judicial cases can go either way, and we can be off. A relegation can go either way. So you either fight in the field and you're in a good number, so you don't have to go down, or this one does not give them that motivation.
Yeah, just like Ronnie has said, that it's a good thing for football, for Zoo and Nakumatt to be reinstated, because despite the fact that they came to the top tier this season, they were not fighting relegation. They were having a good battle, and they were kind of, we may say average, but they were not going down. So maybe what I pray is that the reinstatement cannot tamper with their form, because they were in good form, and I just believe the 2 matches they forfeited will not bring them down, because sometimes when you take a break from the matches, maybe sometimes it reduces the players' momentum and maybe pulls them down.
I tend to differ quite a bit, because before the court injunction came in, Nakumatt, for instance, were doing very well, and they just come from a draw against Posta Rangers, a very good side, and then their top scorer, Kefa Aswani, was leading the charts. He was getting the goals and contesting for the top scorers award. But now this is very tricky for them. I think it leaves them in a very tough situation. Nakumatt, you know the problems they've been facing. So I think this court thing has really given them a setback, a huge setback. And coming into this weekend, I just hope the players and the technical bench can really fight and get it behind their brains and just focus on the game. But with the court appeal decision, we are not done yet. It was just a temporary decision. We'll have another sitting sometimes later. I can't.
On 17th of this month.
It is 17th, it says.
Yeah.
So then I hope this matter can be put to bed, and we just move with playing the game on the field.
James Murithi, we're not leaving you out of this conversation. You said you are a diehard football supporter. Locally, which team do you support?
And me, the newcomers, Kariobangi. So
Oh, you support the Kariobangi Sharks, a team that is closely associated with, of course, FKF president is about to join us on set, and probably if you will have heard that, you will get richer more than you are right now, because he has a fan in you. So Kariobangi Sharks are playing this afternoon against, of course, FC Leopards, and they will play against each other next weekend during GoTV Shield final. What do you make of that particular clash?
I think it's gonna be a draw. I predict 1 draw.
A draw. Which players in Kariobangi Sharks do you see as standout players that are likely to determine the outcome of that particular match? Ronnie, hello, FC Leopards against Kariobangi Sharks?
Very interesting. FC Leopards is ranked number 12 from the log. Kariobangi Sharks is 6th. They've met once this season, and Kariobangi Sharks has won that match. If you look at the forms for both teams, Leopards is doing terribly, and Sharks is the team on the ascendancy. So I think Sharks should win this one. Playing at Machakos again, Sharks is very comfortable playing there. So very tough times for Leopards. Leopards have also lost a very key player, Kerizon Kizito, who's gone away without official leave in the last 2 weeks. So I don't see Leopards winning this match. Sharks is the better team by far, and they'll win it.
George, Nakumatt against Muhoroni Youth Football Club, a fixture that is lined up to be played in Nairobi, away from Muhoroni, where there is some claims of hooliganism when teams visit Muhoroni. What do you think?
That's a tough one, because Muhoroni themselves are also not in good form. They are fighting for their lives, because as we've said, we're not sure how many teams will go down. It may be 4, it may be 2. So in this case, Nakumatt are back. They may be back with a bang, but you know, Muhoroni are guys who have been fighting hard, and anything can happen. In this case, I foresee a draw, chances of a draw, because Nakumatt have not played for the last 2 weeks, and Muhoroni have been playing, but they've not been that good. I foresee a draw.
These two sides have met. The last time they met was before Nakumatt was suspended from the league. and Moroni scored a late goal, I think, in the 90th minute, and it ended in a draw. So it was the first time they were meeting.
It was a controversial.
So this would be the controversial
draw,
when
right?
he says this would be the second meeting between these two sides, and Nakumat's form has been win, draw, lose, draw, and Moroni's form has been loss, loss, draw, loss, and Moroni is actually last on the log with 21 points. So again, very tough one. Moroni coming to Nairobi. I think Nakumat is the better side here, and Moroni is the underdog. So give it to Nakumat to win.
James,
Yeah.
you're in this conversation because you want to bet.
Yeah.
We journalists, we sit here every day talking about football, tunaiongea, tunaichambua, but hatushindangi. Unafuatanga hii conversation ndio weka bet?
Hapana.
Unafanyaga
Mimi niko na zangu na analyze game. Wenye wameplay the last, let's say 5 games. Wenye wameplay form, injuries naangalia. And then na pick ile nini naona kama venye itatoka ikiwa ni win ama draw. Hivyo ndivyo mimi hufanya.
Unaekanga kama tuseme KPL.
KPL weka
kuna game ya KPL, unaeka KPL ama unaendanga tu majuu peke yake?
majuu sana. Lakini KPL ni normal bet, mi bet.
Normal.
Yeah.
KPL unaekanga gani? Kogalo, Tusker?
Ai Kogalo na AFC wamekuwa wakianiangusha sana. Ako chini.
KPL and international football we dissecting right now. Joining us on set is sports journalist Ronnie Aloy alongside Jojo Monti, just coming over to take us through what's happening. Of course, it's an international break and several World Cup qualifiers. Fixtures are lined up this afternoon. Standout fixture is Pete's Black Stars of Ghana alongside against Uganda Cranes. And internationally, we've seen Dan Cavallal, Real Madrid fullback, saying that at 25-year-old right now, saying that he's likely to retire from international football due to heart condition. What do you make of that particular development, George?
Well, when it comes to matters of health, it's an individual's choice. Because we remember Kanu had a heart condition. He went for an operation and he played even longer for more than 10 years. So depending on the doctors and he himself and his family, if he decides to quit, the better. Because we've seen guys die. Remember Tiote recently due to heart condition. So when it means matter of life and death, you'd rather choose life. Because with high intensity matches and concussions and such stuff, it's safe to maybe call it quits.
Ronnie, your reactions and thoughts?
Recently, I was just reading about Manuel Almunia. I remember he had a very, very standout match when Leicester was playing Watford in a EPL qualifier match, playoff match, a few seasons ago, and he retired because of a heart condition. Initially, it's been said, I think it's been wrongly said, that these conditions mostly affect African players, which is not true. So it affects the entire all across the board. For as long as you're a player, your health is very key. So I think health comes first before
and you know, it's good for him that it was discovered early. Because like he said, we don't want another Tiote, we don't want a McVivian Voe in a game, and that one shatters the dreams of everyone. By the time even fans themselves recover from that to go and watch a football match, it's bad for them. If it was discovered early, good. This is not like a fracture, the one Ramsey had. The doctors can cook you and you're back in the game. But for a heart condition, just lay back, my man.
Indeed, and this week health has been a very key topic. You remember the issue of Emmanuel Lebu, I'm sure we'll discuss it later on the show.
Yes.
A very major issue, very major talking point this week.
This week, a very major issue. Of course, it's the touchline on Y25. Maxwell Wasike is my name alongside Robert Osoro, and as usual, you can be part of the program and interact with us via social media handles at Wasike Maxwell, at Osoro, but at touchline Y25. For Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa is already in studio, and he wanna be joining us later on a few minutes from now as we speak to dissect about local football. Of course, it's big and grand opportunities here with us to share matters football with the youth, considering that the station has much of target audience among the youth who are keenly and passionate about football. Now let's talk about Argentina predicaments. Albiceleste's chances of not qualifying to 2018 World Cup slated for next year in Russia, and the last time they failed on qualification was in 1970, several years down the line.
1970, indeed. This season I've been actually discussing records. Remember last weekend we were talking about the Crystal Palace a record 83, a record of 11 defeats in a row that United hold. So I think it's a big one for Argentina. It's now out of their hands, really. It's now out of their hands. They're depending on the results elsewhere. I think it will be a big disappointment for football if we don't see some of the best players of the world playing at the World Cup. Interestingly, Argentina, which has one of the most ferocious attack, has the least goals in their group and in the entire South America region. So very interesting for them. I just hope that Barcelona can be able to sneak in.
Like a team with Lionel Messi can go 420 minutes without scoring. The last time they scored was an own goal, so we don't consider that. But it will be bad for football that a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner is not at the World Cup.
It will be bad,
Yeah.
first of all, for marketing, for guys like Adidas. And Messi himself is a cult hero. And if he misses such a tournament, it's just like when Ibrahimovic missed the 2014 World Cup. It was
And he said the competition was incomplete without him.
Yeah, it was between Ronaldo and Ibrahimovic. So one of them had to be sacrificed because they went for a playoff. So Messi and co need to beat Ecuador on Tuesday for them to have any chance of maybe...
And hope that Peru loses to
taking the
Uruguay.
fifth slot, which will mean they go for a playoff, which is very possible. We've seen Messi do magic when he's needed. And I'm not talking about the finals of the World Cup because then the gods are not on his side. But I don't know. I foresee them beating Ecuador and maybe getting that 5th place slot and maybe beating the hell out of is it New Zealand? Yeah, yeah.
James Murray, you said locally you are a die-hard supporter of Kariobangi Sharks, a team that is taking part in top tier. Internationally, which club do you support and the national team as well? Man United club in English Premier League. Then the national team you support?
National team?
Argentina, Brazil, England?
I'm a Brazil.
Brazil, 5-time World Cup champion. So Argentina are likely to miss qualifying to 2018 World Cup in Russia next year. What do you think? The absence?
The Ronaldo will be good.
It won't be good.
Yeah, it won't be good.
And
not missing people like Messi, Aguero, it isn't good.
Nice. Of course, Jupp Heynckes coming back to the fold as Bavarian's head coach, taking over from Carlo Ancelotti, whom they parted ways with immediately after their 3-0 loss against a French moneybags Paris Saint-Germain. Did you see that happening, George?
Yeah, it was imminent because even during Pep Guardiola's tenure, the Germans were not kind of happy with him because initially, despite winning the Bundesliga thrice in a row, he didn't win the Champions League. And they said that he was eroding the German culture of football made in Germany. Yeah. So with the departure of Pep and in comes Ancelotti, this guy has, first of all, he lost the dressing room with players like Ribéry throwing words at him because Ribéry said he goes to the field, plays for Harvard has a training for 90 minutes, but he lives there. He feels empty because he doesn't get anything new. So the other thing is that Ancelotti may had a tough time maybe leading the side, but we have to look at it this way. During the treble winning season, they had a very solid defense in Lam at right back, Alaba at left back, Dante at centre back, and Jerome Boateng at centre back, right? So with the departure of Lam and Dante, it means they had to bring in new faces. And this is a team that is aging up. Robben is not the same Robben who used to run on the wings. Ribéry has injuries and he can't run that much. With the absence of Noah, the goalkeeper / sweeper, they've really struggled. So in this case, they are number 2nd.
Ronnie, you read from the same script with him?
Yeah, sure. So some time ago, Bayern was nicknamed the FC Hollywood of football. This because of the internal dramas that the club used to suffer, the ones resembling the one for FC Leopards here locally. Now, when Pep Guardiola came to Bayern, then this FC Hollywood nickname died out for some time because they were doing well, there was some progression. But then again, Ancelotti came in and things started going south. First, as I pointed out last week, the issue of football nepotism, he appointed his son, David Ancelotti, to the technical bench, and it was all chaos.
Actually, at 28 years old.
28 years old. Yeah. Then again, his trainer was a man who was again under fire because it was reported he was smoking in the dressing room, and he was giving the team 3-minute warm-ups, which led to Newer and Boateng and a few other players to report to the board that, look, we don't like what this coach and his trainers.
Actually, they started having their own training sessions outside.
Indeed. So I think there was this fallout again in the dressing room. So it was all messy, and it's gone back to FC Hollywood of football. Bayern is now, I think, 6 points adrift Dortmund on the Bundesliga. So I hope with a new tactician coming in, we had hoped that Thomas Tuchel would be the coach, but that has since changed. Joop is here till the end of the season, so let's see how much he's able to offer
And
Bayern.
many Bayern players are hoping that Klopp might cross over to Bayern Munich, like Matt Hummels.
The Bayern president met Pep Guardiola before he made the announcement, so many pundits suspected that probably he was set to appoint the former Barcelona coach, or Thomas Tuchel, who Pep Guardiola greatly admires, but now that has since changed. I don't know what informed them the decision to go for a 72-year-old. Probably they just want to ensure they have a successful end to the season and have someone come in for the long term at the end of the season.
Gentlemen, we have to end it on that note. Of course, FKF President Nick Mwendwa is about to join us shortly before he heads to KBC Channel 1, and remember, of course, it's the conversation that can keep going by our social media handles. But also, Robert, as we wind up, Gerard Piqué, the Spanish defender, saying and really advocating for Catalonia independence and saying that he's ready to be excluded out of the squad for Spain national team despite featuring for them yesterday in their 3-0 victory. I don't know, what do you think? Big blow in case he's excluded?
I'll tell you one thing.
Yes.
We don't want turn this issue into politics because Catalonia.
No, for one reason, probably just to interject, football and politics cannot be separated.
They're one and the same thing.
Exactly, and even Barcelona's motto itself, translated from Spain, says more than a club, more than just a football club. So football and politics cannot be separated.
But the fans of Spain jeered Gerard Piqué because of the statements he made, and is in the field. What all of them have to do, Spain is a very small country. Even if they go, the financial capital of Catalonia goes the other way, Spain will still remain. Catalonia, many players can go the other way, but where are they going to play? Who is going to accept them into a league? They want to go to Russia and play that third division football?
It's been a mind-boggling question, because they say, now where will the Catalonia teams play? But again, then other people say the Welsh teams like Swansea are playing in the English Premier League. So I think it's a very, very tough discussion that you can have.
There are rumors of them joining the EPL. It's not good at all. Right now, there's some teams that when they hear Barcelona, they can get sick easily. So they would rather remain at Catalonia. And Piqué being jeered by their fans during the Albania win, it's not a big deal. It has happened several times. And again, Piqué and Sergio Ramos have been the cog of the La Roja, the centre back.
Yes.
But again, what I can say is that if Piqué leaves, he's at his peak. He's 31. At 31, he's winding up. He may have some 5 or 6 years left in him, but he won't be that active. So Ramos can easily get another partner, which will, in short, will easily give another youngster the chance to shine, right? Just like Casillas came into the team at 17 after their keeper had an injury, Canizares. So,
and in the event that Catalonia manages in their efforts to be independent, they have several players in Sergio Busquets, Cesc Fabregas, and even Xavi Hernandez and Kiko Casillas as the ghost.
One thing that has actually come to my mind when you read the book of Pep book that was serialized on The Sun, he said one player who might be a president in Barcelona Football Club was Gerard Piqué. And this guy is turning more to be a politician as a football player even before he finishes the game itself. Let's go for a break.
Let's wrap it up on that particular note. James Murithi, congratulations for bagging that whooping amount of cash. Of course, my financial squabble still stands, and I will be seeking your advice on how you can bag the same. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Several World Cup qualifiers this afternoon. Which team are you rooting support for?
I haven't yet drawn any looked at, but I gonna know.
But you're gonna know, and you're gonna place the bet as well.
Place the bet, yeah.
The touchline continues. Of course, let's take a short commercial break. We're coming up next with Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa.